Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Civic Saturday. My name is Sam. I'm so honored to be with you this morning and guide us through the hour together. We started gathering for Civic Saturday over the summer. And as with everything in 2020, the world has only gotten more chaotic. And here we are at the eve of a consequential election, and our overlapping crises are ever more intense with no end in sight. And it's exactly why I need to be with you all this morning. And in the spirit of last Monday's marking of Indigenous Peoples Day, I want to take a moment to honor the Kumeyaay people whose ancestral lands we are gathering on today. The Kumeyaay people continue to maintain their political sovereignty and cultural traditions as vital members of the San Diego community. Let's take a moment to thank them for their contributions and stewardship through the generations. Civic Saturday was started in 2016 by Citizen University in Seattle, which has spread to dozens of communities across the country, large and small, rural and urban, and blue states and in red states. These gatherings and the mission of Citizen University are grounded in the belief that a strong democracy relies on strong citizens. And by coming together from all corners of our city, across professional, social, political, and cultural tribes, we can rediscover a common purpose, challenge each other on how we are living up to the American creed. We have an exciting lineup of voices from our community across the region, from Imperial Beach to Oceanside, to do just that, to challenge us, to encourage us, and to inspire us this morning. And today we'll be exploring the theme of America as a story. And in my mind, the story of America is fundamentally paradoxical. And it is so often experienced differently across social, ethnic, racial, and economic lines. America is a story of freedom and bondage. It is a story of justice and oppression. It is a story of abundance and of scarcity. America contains the narrative of both rugged individualism and the narrative of mutual aid. And it is a story that began with lofty ideals. Take voting, for instance, which was only a privilege for some, that eventually evolved to a right for all through generations of struggle. And the story doesn't end there. And I want to share a quick image just to get our juices flowing this morning. It's kind of funny only for a second because, you know, we're going through just this really, really difficult election. And on top of health concerns, you know, we also have voter suppression, which is no laughing matter. And it's something that we need to be very, very vigilant on. So I actually want to do an exercise, a fill in the blank, if you will. So quickly open your chat box and just as the first word or second word you think of in your head, in your mind, what do you think we are at this point in the American story? So use the chat box. I'm gonna start reading a few. And America is an open story, Karl says. Leah said, America is an evolving story. Jordan says, America is a horrible story. Another evolving story, hurtful story, complex, textured, tortured, complicated, beautiful, volatile, paradoxical, uncertain. Thank you, Uncle Romy. Developing. Thanks, Viet. Wonderful. Thank you so much for participating. So as a civic analog to a faith gathering, which is what Civic Saturday is, we're going to experience a similar rhythm and components of what it's designed to move us, to inspire us, and to challenge us. And to kick us off, we're delighted to have Leah Goodwin, who is a phenomenal creative catalyst And I know her as a wise mentor, and if I may say, the poet laureate of Riot San Diego. And she'll be offering her original poetry with us this morning. And then we'll also watch together a dance performance by Derion, Loman. And it's a video that's produced by an amazing collective of artists here in San Diego called Disco Riot, led by Zakia Salinas. And she and her team has produced a series of beautiful and powerful videos of movement art that's called Move American. And it's designed to spur us to civic action, and new videos actually published every week. So I encourage you to check it out every week before the election day. So with that, I'd like to invite Leah up now to share her words with us.
We're going to, good morning, good morning, good morning. So many different places, which is amazing. Let's bring us in, Derion.
I'm here.
You know, I see Dr. Green. He may want to join us in a bell ringing. If you have a bell handy, we're going to ring it to 3. I want to just give us a chance to center into our breath for just a few seconds as we gather together virtually, but connected nevertheless. If you can be as comfortable as you can, if you want to, you can close your eyes. We're going to just breathe in, and when I mean breathe in, let's breathe in to at least a count to 8, like really breathe. We are being so challenged to breathing right now. We're watching people die with I can't breathe. We have a virus that is affecting our breathing, and breathing is just so important right now. So let's try this breathing into the count of 8, try to hold it, and then we're gonna release it to the count of 8. In. Hold. Out. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. In. Out. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. Flower. Fresh. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. Mountain. Solid. Breathing in, I see myself as still water. Breathing out, I reflect all that is. Water, reflecting. Breathing in, I see myself as space. Breathing out, I feel free. Space, free. In, out. Roar. Resist oppression and racism. Roar like a lion as we resist oppression and racism. Feel it in your spirit of openness, understanding, and love. Yes, your soul. It sounds like a lot, yet it must be our goal. Times are changing, but the racism remains. It shows up when we aren't looking. Hidden in our hoodies with tears in our eyes, we cry for Trayvon. And the justice system shows us that racism is not gone. Resist oppression and take control. It sounds like a lot, but it must be our goal. We are obsessed with being our best, and at times, we don't realize that we are being oppressed, looked over for a job promotion, ignored in the store, stopped for driving while Black. Do I need to explain some more? Resist oppression and take control. It sounds like a lot, but it must be our goal. Nurturing our soul, we put it to the test. Find love. Be open and caring. It's hard to understand that the power of love is in our own two hands. Reach out to a friend. Hey, smile to your foe. Soul power continues to keep the fire aglow. So we roar with soul. We roar with soul. And we stand up for truth. And we do not shy away from the fight. And we hold love as energy. Yes, the end is in sight. That mighty roar, resisting oppression and racism. That mighty roar, resisting oppression and racism. That mighty roar is magnified by the many as we stand together with one voice. We do have a choice. We must do this work. Our soul demands it. Our individual spirit of openness, understanding, and love claims it as a truth, claims it as a calling, claims its soul energy as the way forward to resist oppression and racism. So we roar with soul together, knowing that the mighty sound of love will resonate throughout the world, one voice at a time. We stand and come until love wins and this work is done.
Voter suppression. It's a series of policies designed to stop key elements of the American electorate from voting. It comes in a series of policies dealing with voter ID laws, gerrymandering, poll closures, and cutting out early voting. And it is lethal to American democracy. There will be many obstacles trying to stop us from casting our vote. Your voice matters, and your vote counts. We must cast our vote by any means necessary.
All right, let's give Derion and Leah a big round of applause. Thank you so much. I just want to give a quick shout out to Derion. He's in the room actually today with us as well. Yeah, let's roar to the ballot box. And I encourage you to check out more of Derion's art. Sarah will drop some links there, and also the Move American dance video series by Disco Riot. And of course, Leah's creative work as well. Please support them, and again, join me in thanking them. As we heard from both Leah's words and Derion's message, reminds us that we can't take our breath, our voice, and our vote for granted. And in a moment, Cynthia Suero-Gabler will deliver today's civic sermon. And before she shares her story, I would like to read a passage from what you might call civic scripture. Civic scripture are foundational and living texts that tell the story of America. Civic scripture, whether they are legal documents, speeches, literature, or poetry, are the touchstones of our collective identity and ideals, and they add up to a narrative arc about who we are as a people. I'll be reading two passages. First is the 15th Amendment to the United States Constitution, ratified in February 3rd, 1870. Section 1 reads, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude." Section 2 reads, "The Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation." 150 years later, we receive these parting words from the late Congressman John Lewis, civil rights icon and champion of civil rights. And it's from the last essay, which I'll read, where he wrote right before he passed away and published on the day of his funeral. John Lewis writes, "Like so many young people today, I was searching for a way out, of some might say a way in, and then I heard the voice of Dr. Martin Luther King on an old radio. He was talking about the philosophy and discipline of nonviolence. He said, we are all complicit when we tolerate injustice. He said, it is not enough to say it will get better by and by. He said, each of us has a moral obligation to stand up, speak out. When you see something that is not right, you must say something. You must do something. Democracy is not a state, it is an act, and each generation must do its part to help build what we called the beloved community, a nation and world society at peace with itself. Ordinary people with extraordinary vision can redeem the soul of America by getting in what I call good trouble, necessary trouble. Voting and participating in the democratic process are key. The vote is the most powerful nonviolent change agent you have in a democratic society. You must use it because it is not guaranteed. You can lose it. You must also study and learn lessons of history because humanity has been involved in this soul-wrenching existential struggle for a very long time. People on every continent have stood in your shoes through decades and centuries before you. The truth does not change, and that is why the answers worked out long ago can help you find solutions to the challenges of our time. Continue to build union between movements stretching across the globe, because we must put away our willingness to profit from the exploitation of others. Though I may not be here with you, I urge you to answer the highest calling of your heart and stand up for what you truly believe. In my life, I have done all I can to demonstrate that the way of peace, the way of love and nonviolence is the more excellent way. Now it is your turn to let freedom ring."
Thank you so much, Sam. I just want to thank all of you for being here today. I'm truly honored and really, really blessed to be able to be asked to preach today's sermon. And I feel very emotional this morning with everything that has already happened with Leah's poem. The dance was very moving. Whew. Just hearing Congressman John Lewis's words. I don't know about you guys, but my heart is just really moved right now. So just a little bit about myself. I'm a first generation American born here. Philippine American. So I consider myself, my parents immigrated from the Philippines, and just a little bit about Filipinx history, if you're not familiar. The Philippines was colonized by the Spaniards for 333 years, and we were enslaved by them and under United States government for another 48 years. So we know oppression as well. And so my great grandfather Conrado Kasuga, he came to America in search for a better life and worked in the farmlands in Victorville as well as Central California, and he was trying to send money home to the Philippines, but he was paid very little during that time, and had been treated very poorly by the farm owners, as we know that history. And by the time he was able to gather enough money to go home to the Philippines, the majority of his family had already passed away. And those who were still there could not even recognize him. And then my parents survived World War II as children. My my grandfather was captured, as with my grandmother, and taken to concentration camps or to serve in the guerrilla war um, as a guerrilla soldier. My grandfather, as with my 12-year-old uncle at the time, he was also taken to a concentration camp, and my mom was left with her 9 siblings to fend for themselves, and they were all under the age of 12. And so a lot of pain, um, came about. And so even with my parents coming to America, my dad was recruited in the Philippines to the United States Navy. Prior to that, he was serving, he was planting tobacco in the fields. And then my mom, she was a registered nurse, but was only able to come to America because of the Immigration and Naturalization Act of 1965. And prior to that, there were only a certain quota of Filipinos or non-whites that were able to enter into America. And they only sought out folks that were professionals to come to America. So in order to make America great again back then, and we see, that they were trying to build this country up. And so there were great things that happened, and there was a lot of painful things that also happened. And it's all part of the story. It's all part of the narrative of who I am as a person and why civic engagement is important to me. And so, we ask ourselves, what is civic engagement? It is civic engagement involves working to make a difference in the civic life of one's community and developing the combination of knowledge, skills, values, and motivation to make that difference. So volunteering, national service, and service learning are all forms of civic engagement. But why is it important? Why is it important to get civically engaged? Why should we care? You should care because you know what? Your voice matters. One person can make a difference. I kid you not. I did not realize my voice. I did not know my voice until about 2015 when I became a Rise San Diego Fellow. And big shout out to all my Rise San Diego Fellows on this Zoom call. But it was awesome. I joined Rise, and prior to that, I had already been engaged in the community at various capacities. But we were asked to create a community action plan. And some of you are familiar with that. But what it is basically going into our communities and finding what those needs are, and stepping up and adopting that and taking that personal, and creating a plan to make those things happen. And prior to that experience, I had been part of and collaborated with on others in numerous projects in Southeast San Diego. Um, but I hadn't really championed anything on my own. So this was very scary for experience for myself, because, you know, when you put yourself out there, you know, you never know how it's going to turn out. And so, you know, I had heard this urban legend of a group of senior citizens that had been dancing at Bay Terrace Park or exercising or meeting every single day at the park. And I won't steal Uncle Romy's testimony, but basically, you know, just to summarize that experience, um, I went out to the park and I met the seniors. We talked a lot and did a lot of research. I did a lot of research with the city of San Diego to find out why they were promised a senior center in 1990 by the late George Stevens, and it never came to fruition. And these seniors had been waiting for their senior center for then, at that point, 25 years. Now it's 30 years as of today. But the great thing, to summarize it, is that we were able to get the funding of $5.5 million through our advocacy and going to the city and fighting for the senior center. And the senior center is now being built and almost at completion. But what it took was somebody to stand up and say, you know, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Why are these seniors waiting for 25 years for their senior center? And it's interesting because I'm not the first person who stumbled across these seniors. They're all there, you know, and you know, but what it took was my voice to question to the city, why is this happening, and to speak on the injustice that was going on. And so it's important to find your authentic voice. So exercising effective civic engagement starts with finding your voice and determining who you are, what you believe in, and having your own convictions about that. What injustices have you witnessed, and what changes do you want to see made? And where do you fit in this puzzle? That's a very important thing to think about as you're developing and searching for your voice. And then the next thing is to listen and find voices that are in tune with yours. So for example, with me, I went out to the Bay Terrace Park and I met the seniors. I heard their story, but I needed to go and listen to everybody's voices, you know, in the community, to find out who are my allies, who can help, and also to listen to the other side. I mean, there were many, many naysayers who said that this couldn't be done. You know, some of my closest, you know, mentors kind of laughed at me and said, you know what, for the city to create, you know, build a senior center and to find funding for it is nearly next to impossible. You know, but it took me saying, you know what, no, this is wrong and it needs to be right. We need to make this right. So, but I also had to respect the other voices in the room that did not align with mine. So it also means listening when it's hard, right? Listening when people don't agree with you. And that sharpens yourself, right? Iron sharpens iron. So when somebody says things that don't agree with what you believe in, you have to step back and ask yourself, like, why do they believe this? You know, play the devil's advocate. You know, it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. And those are the words of Aristotle. So you need to develop your own voice. Once you find your voice, once you connect with your allies, develop your own voice and have your own convictions. When I say have your own convictions about something, I mean believing in something so strong that no one can convince you otherwise. Okay? No one can talk you out of it. You believe in it. This is what you believe. You're not just voting at the voting booth because a certain party says, here's all the people to vote for. Okay, well, I'm just going to check all the way down. You're actually going to research and have a deep conviction that I'm voting for this because I truly believe it. So, you know, with that in mind too, make sure you register to vote if you're not registered, okay? And vote. Get out to the polls. And be prepared to fail, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now, be prepared to experience failure in civic engagement. You are not going to win every battle. Our epic failures become our greatest lessons in life. You know, Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players on the face of the earth, he is quoted as saying, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games, 26 times. I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Now imagine if that is Michael Jordan, one of the greatest ball players on this earth, how much more with us? Expect that you're not going to win every battle, but don't let that discourage you from going out there and using your voice to preach what you believe in, whether it's a senior center or whether it's, you know, for a candidate or whether it's for another cause. Can you imagine what our city, our county, our state, our world would be like if each one of us on this call just championed one thing, just one thing, and took it personal and decided to take it all the way up to the top? Can you imagine what kind of life we would all be living? You know, it's incredible because it's a domino effect. Once you start, you know, getting engaged civically, once you start encouraging others to do the right thing, once you start speaking up, everybody else will fall into place. And it's just like this senior center that Uncle Romy is about to share with you. So with that in mind, I want to encourage you, shout and use your voice, okay? Don't be shy, don't be scared, you know, use your voice because you make a difference. One person can make a difference in an entire community. And speak your truth. You need to be heard. Ask the right questions. Research the right information. And don't be afraid to fail. Don't doubt the power of your voice, your civic voice. It takes one person, just one person, to make a difference. And with every election, each vote counts. With the census, every count matters. So make sure that you are always putting yourself out there, okay, to be civically engaged and to find things that you can champion and believe in. And now we're going to hear a case study from Uncle Romy. He's going to share about the Bay Terrace Philam seniors. And he is one of the seniors at Bay Terrace Park that advocated for this senior center. So take it away, Uncle Romy.
Hello, Cynthia. Thank you very much for your very loving, inspirational testimony. Really emblem the history of the Bay Terrace. It's a lot of recollection. Hello and mabuhay everyone. My name is Romy Mariah. And if you're going to be going to the senior community center, is almost done because I visited them yesterday. It's just all we need there is tables and chairs and music. Then we get ready to party. Okay, thank you for inviting me to share my story about you today. And thank you so much for my wife. My wife is right here next to me. And also my second daughter, Anjanette, was very active in this community. And I have 3 daughters and 6 grandkids. I was born in the Philippines and came to America. I would like to thank my mom who pushes me to come to America because he said that this was the land of opportunity. When I was a teenager, I came in search of the American dream. and that provided me a better life for my family, just being so blessed by the Almighty. I came to the United States and joined the US Navy and proudly served for 25 years. Could you believe that? It was really unbelievable that I was able to go through it with all the challenges that come along with it. When I came here, there was a lot of adjustments to make it. We are in the country that was totally different from the Philippines. Living here most of my lives, I have learned to just go to the flow and respond to whatever we are told to do so. We were afraid to walk back to anyone we don't agree on something. We are barely asked for what we needed to provide a better life for ourselves and to our community. I am now 74 years old, and I have been retired for quite some time. I'm enjoying spending time with my kids and grandkids, playing tennis, watching movies, and especially spending time entertaining with my fellow senior friends at home apart, and Cynthia has witnessed that. But anyway, often they even ask me to sing and dance with my favorite elders and MC a lot of events. And I know that they call me Koya Romy or Mano Romy, which means that I'm a big brother. I am best known in the community as the Filipino Elvis. I don't know if I still can do it. Hopefully I can. Our group is so-called the South Bay Terrorist Film Senior Association, where both me and my wife volunteer and serve as an officers. We were so very active for 4 or 5 years ago. We get together the park every day. Rain or shine, sometimes of the things we do potluck, line dance, and sing karaoke. And every last Friday of the month, we have a big gathering. We celebrate the birthday of each month. And this was most of the event party that we had. In the past 25 years, my fellow seniors have been going to the park every day. And even though there is no community center building yet, but that doesn't stop us from getting there as a community. We are gathered there every day for many years, rain or shine, hot and cold. Later on, we found out that Cynthia, our senior center, the Toma Park, has been promised by the city for 25 years, but was never been built. So if you got a chance sometimes to go around there, and you will see exactly what Cynthia has been dreaming of. The community center is being built already. So we took matters into our hands. We built our own makeshift community center. We organized as a group and ordered a storage container, and it stays there in the parking lot. So every morning we go there, open the shed, and now and then we put the like a swap meet canopy and tables and chairs, and also we get our DJ equipment every single day. So every month we celebrate the monthly birthday celebrant. We bring potluck, and sometimes there was a priest that was invited there for being with us, saying a mass every last Friday to fill the spirit among us. When Cynthia told us that we can fight for what we want, she helped us, and it's happening, and we get civically engaged. For several years, we attended numerous city council meetings, and we talked to the city council to express how much we wanted and needed this center. And Todd Gloria was the president at that time of that council, and they were only allowed like about a minute or so to say something about it. And we even took some pictures and shared it to them. And after years of advocacy and a lot of hard work and persistence, we finally got our senior center, what they call it, the community center, and finally completed. It's just a matter of days and weeks, and we're going to be grand opening over there, and all of you guys are all invited to attend. We can wait until the COVID is gone so we can have a very good grand opening. For the meantime, I am enjoying going there every Friday to volunteer and help the food distribution for our community. People drive through the park and we load their cars with food Imagine, there's a lot of food that they gave us yesterday. Every Friday is different. So come over and drop by from 12 to 1. And it feels good, especially those people in need. And I would like to have a special thanks to Rudy Bautista, the president, who's opening the conics to lay out some tables, and Joanne Fields and my brothers never keep organizing all this effort. Now we finally have our dreams fulfilled, so we are excited to share the rest of the golden years at the community center to our grandchildren and a future generation. It was a miracle yesterday that one of our members, a former president, Joe Quintanilla, showed up, and he was praising God because he recovered from this COVID-19 since July. And he was telling us that don't be afraid, just mostly have faith in God, and only God could only help us in all our trials. And he was a testimonial witness yesterday. We're so glad to see him yesterday. We are very proud of our daughter, Anjanette, for now fulfilling the dreams and starting her own business, studio in Chula Vista. And hopefully, they call the Mariah Performing Arts. We are so proud of her nonprofit work and the civic engagement and years of volunteer work she has done to the community. I guess we raised her well. Very raised well, yeah. I feed him a lot of scrambled eggs in the morning. Now that you heard our story, encourage you to become a civically engaged and ask for the things we need to share. It takes a lot of hard work and persistence. Never give up. There is hope. For the family and yours, thank you for listening. Have a good day and hope to see you soon. And we're going to have more fun. God bless. And God bless America. Hope you guys are all voted. Bye.
Thank you, Uncle Romy, and thank you, Sister CK.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the party at the park at the Senior Center. Now it's time to hear from one another and just reflect on what just shared. And I have a prompt. We running a little bit over time, but we'll at least spend 5 minutes together in breakout sessions. And Sarah's going to send us into randomized breakout sessions, and we'll use this prompt to use for our discussion. Describe a time you spoke up for yourself or someone else, and what story or voice in your community is unheard and needs to be amplified. So enjoy the breakout session, and we'll be back together at the end to hear again from Leah and also a musical performance from Karl Anthony. So I'd like to bring our program to a close, and we are lucky to hear from Karl Anthony, who is an artist based in Oceanside, and he performs for audiences around the world and also provides musical therapy for young souls at the Rady Children's Hospital here in San Diego. And I encourage you to sing or clap along as well. So here's Karl.
This song's called Crazy World. And if you'd like to sing, just go like this. Got to give some love to this crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy, crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy, crazy world. You got it. I'm tired of drinking dirty water. I know I've got to breathe the air. What's the use for conversation? Is there somebody who really cares? I think of children who are hungry. survive. And I think of people who are homeless. What's their reason to stay alive? It's a crazy world. It's a mixed up world. It's a human world, but it's our world. Got to give some love to this crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy, crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy, crazy world. We speak of problems of our future. We blame the methods of the past. What resolutions have we come to? We want solutions that last. It's a crazy world. It's a mixed up world. It's a human world, but it's our world. It's a crazy world. It's a mixed up world. It's a human world, but it's our world. It's our world. It's a crazy world. Our world. Got to give some love to this crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy, crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy, crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy, crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy world. Got to give some love to this crazy, crazy world. It's a crazy world. It's a mixed up world. It's a human world, but it's our world. It's our world. It's our world. It's our world. I'm tired of drinking dirty water.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Beautiful song. Beautiful song.
Quick shout out.
Karl.
Karl is actually in the room. Quick shout out to Karl.
Thank you, Karl. Wow, so beautiful. I remember seeing you in Science of Mind Church back with the Reverend Kathy days, Karl.
Oh yes, yes, I'm still
Yes, yes, yes.
still around.
Oh, it is a crazy world. Whew.
But it's ours, and that's the
It's our world.
meaning
I
of
love
great
that.
civic experience. And thank you, Sam, for bringing us together and being able to remind us that it is our world, it's our duty, and it's our privilege and honor.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think after Karl, I'm gonna read this poem. I was teasing Sam that I have 5 pieces in front of me, figuring out which one I want to read at any moment. He knows that's how I roll. So, all right. Remember, hold on to your heart. Hold on to your hope. Hold on to each other. And remember the promise, the gift, and the glory of the movement. Hold on to your dreams. Hold on to your truth. Hold on to love. And remember your very own stories, your ancestors. The soul of who you are is full of this power. Hold on to the future. Hold on to the promise of true freedom in this land. And remember the promise that together we can build a world where all colors can walk hand in hand. Hold on to the torn pieces of fabric. We can sew them back together. And remember that we must be strong. We cannot give in or let go or forget. Together we will fulfill the dream of a free nation with love as our sword. On the wings of the dove, we will soar to the day when we ain't gonna study war no more. And remember, dear sisters and brothers, we are the ones we've been looking for.
Thank you, thank you. Let's give it up again for Leah and Karl. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Derion. Thank you, CK. Thank you, Uncle Romy. Thank you, everyone, for being here today.
We know we got it. We know we got it. We know